Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. When I say the word sniper, most pilots in the game get an immediate emotional response because sniper is a very controversial term. You either love them or you hate them. If you play a sniper, you love playing snipers, and if they're on your team, sometimes you absolutely hate having them on your team. But let me know which category you fall into in the comments below. For this drop, I want to show you a complete drop, start to finish, unedited, so that you can see the true story behind the sniper. And to clarify my position on what a sniper is, a sniper has to have long-range weapons and ECM, in my opinion, and that's because a sniper classically is supposed to engage from concealment, remaining undetected while striking blows at the enemy. If you've got long-range weapons but no ECM and can be targeted by sensors or picked up and detected by sensors, well, then you're just a long-range weapons platform at that point. For this drop coming to you, we're playing skirmish mode on Tourmaline Desert. I'm in my Thanatos 5S. I have 2 Gauss rifles, ECM for that undetectability, jump jets for maneuverability, and top speed 61.6 kph. Now, based on the information that you saw playing out as we entered this, I've made some assumption, and the assumption is my teammates are going to go towards the Fox 5 area. The enemy is probably going to be somewhere in the Echo 5 area. That led me to Gulf 6. I like to call this little nook up here the crow's nest. It is a superior sniping position because you have cover, you have your little window of peeking that gives good visibility actually across a larger section of the battlefield while keeping your unit concealed. You don't have to stand out in the open, fully exposed, as in other areas of the map. Already, I've started to engage enemy units over on the Echo 5 ridgeline. The bad news is a couple of them know that I am here, and I'm going to get some laser fire right there. So he knows that I'm clearly here, but that's okay. I can do a little pop-tarting. And he's also put out, I don't know if it's an airstrike or an arty strike, but I've got to back off here a little bit. And that is the downside to this position, is most of the enemy is going to immediately look towards Gulf 6 or that other high rock outcrop at Gulf 5 when they start getting pelted with Gauss rounds. At least any of the experienced pilots will. And that's why I'm getting laser fire and attracting airstrikes onto my position. But that's okay. From here, I can back out of the way, wait for it to pass, and then get right back up into the crow's nest and continue to engage the enemy targets like that Marauder or Marauder 2C that's out there on the ridgeline. And there's also another, an assault pushing across the center. We'll mark him for our teammates so that they know he is there. And I'm going to continue to get some shots out on that Marauder. He's also a double Gauss build, so that's important. He's out there in the open with no cover. However, there is an Atlas and friends right here at Fox 5 pushing the right flank of my teammates. So I want to get some fire out on them, not only to protect the right flank, but also because these units are closer, my weapons do full damage at this range. We'll also get out an arty strike, see if we can't break up this enemy formation or at least put some confusion in amongst their ranks. And look at that, they're backing off, backing into cover because they don't want to come around this right side anymore. Here comes an enemy piranha around the right side. I lock him up so my teammates know that he's there. It was a bad shot selection on my part. Trying to hit a very small, fast-moving target is not always the best thing, especially with ballistic weapons where you have to lead your targets. An enemy Marauder now is pushing in. That's a bigger and slower target. And there's also a Blood Asp out in the distance. It looks like he's hooked up with our Marauder 2 friend, but we're going to drive them to cover with a couple of well-placed shots. Now, going back to our Marauder, I want to focus the right torso if I can. If you saw all of his weapons fired, the little flashes of light coming off that right torso, and sure enough, his build is LB2s. So that means all of his ballistics are in that right torso. And speaking of right torsos, I want to take the right torso on the Hunchback as well. Now he's open, and the bulk of his firepower is at risk. It definitely is a target-rich environment in front of me at Fox 5, but I also want to keep eyes towards Echo 6. There were those 2 units out on the fringes. Now, the Blood Asp moved around the corner, but the Marauder 2C looks like he wants to push in, and I need to put a little bit of pressure on him, and he's returning fire, so it looks like we're going to get into a sniper duel. And as that plays out, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. You don't want to miss out on any future content like this, and I really do appreciate the subscriptions and helping this channel grow and reach more gamers and new pilots to the game. I'm backing off because my right torso is very weak. I'm starting to lose the battle of the snipers, and that's because his PPC cycles a whole lot faster than my Gauss rifles. But in my new position, this is where I spot India. It's a Marauder, and his legs are open. His right torso is one touch, and if we get damage on the right leg, yep, sure enough, it transfers up into the right torso, and down goes the mech, and that chalks up a kill on the board. I'm trying to get some additional shots out on these units over in the Fox 5 area, but invisible walls are blocking my shots. It's very frustrating, but it is something that you're going to run into. I get my second arty strike out. Hopefully it will clip some of the units on the other side of that wall. The Victor has pushed in. We get a couple shots on him. Nothing too spectacular with that one. That was a leg shot. Not exactly where I needed to hit. And now I'm going to go back up into my old position and see if I can get a better angle over top of those invisible walls onto the enemy units on the other side. I also want to check and see what's happening over towards Echo 6. Sure enough, there is our friend the Blood Asp. He has decided to move in. I want to get some shots on him to slow down his advance and also make sure that I've marked him and called him out to my team so that they know that he's there. Now, I miss a follow-up shot because I was trying to lead the target and he paused for just a moment and it made my shot go over his head. We do get a third shot on him, however. Now, the bad news is my ammo bins are getting very, very low, and this is where the enemy is pushing in over top of the ridge. Fox 5 coming straight at me, and I have 2 more strikes to get out. Probably on this Atlas since he's the closest and right below me. I'll see if I can peek up over. But they're watching this crow's nest like a hawk. Get it? Hawk, crow. Anyway, there goes the last shot that I have. Now I am bingo ammo. But I still want to contribute to the team. Notice where my teammate is. He's clear out Fox 5. So as I pull out of the sniper's nest, I am going to leave behind a little present, and it's in the form of a UAV. Now, some of you are saying, why on earth are you deploying a UAV at this stage of the game? It's 8 to 10. You guys aren't going to win. Well, I'm doing this because the enemy is already focused, the crow's nest, at Gulf 6. I'm going to give them a little eye candy in the form of my UAV to keep them focused on Gulf 6. Hopefully, that buys a little space for my teammate in Fox 5 to get some work done. That must not be the case because I see he just went down. That means I'm last man standing, no ammo in sight. So I'm going to do what anybody would do, and that's jump in the air. Now look at this. They're not even looking. Guys, the power of ECM. So I don't show up on their sensors. They're still looking at Gulf 6. They're still focusing my UAV. And even the Marauder sees me, but it's the little unit up on the hill who's shooting me with medium lasers. He hasn't even informed his teammates. How do I know this? Because this is interesting. Look at that. There goes the Blood Asp. They're still hell-bent on pushing Gulf 6 and encircling me, and I'm not even there anymore. So guys, don't underestimate ECM, and make sure you're using your peepers on the battlefield. Coming back around, I'm not going to make this easy for anyone. I want to drag this out as long as possible and make the enemies work for their kill. I'm not going to go quietly into that good night. So coming back up around, yep, there's the enemy. It's an Incubus. You know what? He looked like he was legged. I don't know if I could do some charge damage to him or not. And finally, the enemy units are starting to come back in, realizing that this is where I'm at. If I only had a few more rounds of Gauss ammo left. They're going to take me down, and that leads to the question, guys. So what do you think about snipers? Are they important to have in the game, or are they dead weight on your team? I don't know the answer to that, except for providing you with a very dramatic death roll down the hill. But let's switch over to the end screen and see. I wind up with only 1 kill, 5 components destroyed, 1,107 damage done.